Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kim. Today is Wednesday, October 7th, 2020. And we begin with a great white shark so massive that researchers have nicknamed her Queen of the Ocean. The 17-foot behemoth was caught, tagged, and released off Nova Scotia, Canada earlier this week. She weighed in at a staggering 3,541 pounds and is now in the record books as the biggest great white ever found in the North Atlantic. Scientists with OSearch estimate she's about 50 years old, and while they call her Queen for her size, her Native American name of record is Ngumi, which means wise grandmother and is based on her age. OSearch researchers are on a month-long expedition to tag great whites and take biological samples to better understand the shark population's health and migrations through that part of the ocean. Hurricane history could be made this week. Delta is now picking up speed and power as it races across the waters of the Gulf of Mexico toward the U.S. coastline. As of this recording, the hurricane had maximum sustained winds up to 145 miles per hour and will likely graze the Yucatan Peninsula today as a Category 4. After weakening a bit, forecasters expect it to ramp back up to a 4 and slam ashore late Friday or early Saturday, somewhere between eastern Texas and the Florida Panhandle. If it makes landfall as projected, it would break a record set back in 1916 for the most named storms to hit the U.S. in a single season. 4 weeks from today, we'll all be waking up to the results of the presidential election. Will President Trump get 4 more years? Will challenger Joe Biden unseat him? Will we even know? Usually we find out the results the night of the race. But this year, many analysts believe it'll take days, weeks, or even months to determine the winner, primarily because so many people will vote by mail to avoid crowds at the polls, a process which takes longer to count. According to CNN, 3 million ballots have already been cast that way, won by 102-year-old B. Lumpkin, who donned a hazmat hood and gloves to walk her ballot to the mailbox. As the Chicago grandmom told a local television station, if she can vote, quote, nobody should have an excuse not to. Vice presidential debates typically get little to no attention. Not so this year. The advanced age of both presidential candidates, President Trump's recent COVID diagnosis, and the chaotic mess of the first debate have all upped the interest in tonight's showdown in Salt Lake City. Count on additional coronavirus precautions, namely more space between Vice President Pence and challenger Kamala Harris, and even some plexiglass dividing them. But the debate will be historic for another reason. It will be the first time a woman of color has ever taken the stage for a vice presidential debate. As for the Trump-Biden rematch scheduled for next week in Miami, both candidates say they'll be there, but the new rules have not yet been announced. Is anyone out there? Maybe. Scientists believe they've found not just 1, but 24 faraway planets that might support life even better than Earth. The study, led by Washington State University and published in the journal Astrobiology, whittled down 4,500 planets to 24 super habitable ones, all slightly larger, warmer, and/or wetter than our own. Some also had the added benefit of orbiting a star with a lifespan longer than the sun's. Each is more than 100 light-years away, so in-person visits are off the table. But because they hint at the possibility of life-friendly worlds beyond our own, they'll reportedly be studied further using advanced telescopes like NASA's much-delayed James Webb, which is now due to blast off on Halloween of next year. We don't yet have a name, but we do have a gender. Thanks to a genetic cheek swab, the National Zoo can confirm that its 6-week-old baby panda is a boy. Just released video also shows him putting on weight. He's now 3.5 pounds and is already sporting some of his black and white spots. And that's it for KidNuz this morning. Now our KidNuz quiz. How big is the great white dubbed Queen of the Ocean? 17 feet long and 3,541 pounds. What is the name of the hurricane that could set a record this week? Delta, which may make landfall as a Category 4. How old is the Chicago grandmom photographed dropping her ballot in the mail? 102. How many super habitable planets were found by researchers? 24, all bigger, warmer, and/or wetter than Earth. In one for the road, movies may not be making it to theaters, but they're still being made. The videotape proof is all over the internet thanks to passing motorists who caught Tom Cruise doing his own stunts atop a speeding train in Norway. One lucky fan even got a wave from the actor during a break in the action. Cruise is known for taking chances for his movies, but he and the entire Mission Impossible 7 film crew appeared to be clipped in with safety harnesses just in case. Like all movies, the release date for this blockbuster has been pushed back, in this case until November of 2021. Before we go, we want to give teacher salutes to Mr. Young and his class at Lincoln Elementary in Bedford, Indiana, Mrs. Gibbs and her students at Annie Bell Clark in Tifton, Georgia, and Mrs. Baumeister and her fabulous first period at Central Middle School in Greenwich, Connecticut. And we send birthday wishes to Allison in Hingham, Massachusetts, Ari in Sharon, Vermont, Damien in Alexandria, Virginia, Kaysen in Atwater, Ohio, Adrian in Hillsboro, Wisconsin, Onyx and Tenley in Alexandria, South Dakota, and Gabby from Alamo, California. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you back here for more Kid News tomorrow morning.